Hi, my name is Carl Bolson from Showbiz Northwest. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the event planning system. Since you are new and excited to begin planning your event, this is where you do it. This is the fantastic planning event page. So we're going to walk through it kind of step by step, kind of explain all the buttons, the functionality, and everything you need to know so you can begin planning your event. So now that you're logged in, right up here at the very top, it's just a quick navigation as far as how to navigate through the system. Below that, you'll have details as far as your event. In some cases, you might have more than one event listed here. And then over here, we have planning buttons that we're going to go through here in a few minutes. As we scroll down, you'll notice that there's a timeline or a clock that counts down your next event. And then at the very bottom, email correspondence from us, and then also upcoming meetings as far as planning meetings go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into this one that says event details. We're going to touch on the plan event and make a payment in just a minute. They're a little bit more detailed. So once you get into the event detail page, it's just a basic overview as far as details for your event. It has event time, the event description, venue information, kind of details as far as the services that we're providing for you, information about staffing, and then payments and finances. And it lists the deposit price, how much you have remaining, and how much you've paid, and then you can also make a payment through this page. And this is where you would also request different changes as far as making a change as far as time goes or something along the lines of that. So I'm going to click on the make a payment page. You can also do this on the home page, and this is where you would go to make a payment on your account. So right now I can enter in $150 and we can make a payment. Now when you launch this page or click Pay Now, it actually launches PayPal, so that way your payment is secure and protected. So here in my case I'm launching PayPal. It'll say Showbiz Northwest at the top, and this is where you can go to make a payment. Now to make a payment, if you don't have a PayPal account, like in this case I can enter in my PayPal information, but if I don't have a PayPal account, just click Don't Have a PayPal Account. And this is where you can enter in your credit card information. So the next thing we're going to touch is we're going to touch the Plan My Event. This was also accessible on the home page, but this is where all the fun starts to happen. So at the very top, you'll notice there's a little print icon right here. You can print different planning forms that are specific to your event. So for instance, if I want to plan or print my music list or print my timeline, this is where I would go to do that. Now to begin planning your event, the first thing that we're going to touch on is adding music, because that's the fun part. That's what we specialize in. That's where you want to have fun, and of course you want your guests out on the dance floor dancing to your favorite music. So here's where you start adding music. Now let's say my favorite artist is Carrie Underwood. I would type in Carrie Underwood. I can also use the alphabetical search. Up here at the top I can use different songs, look for top hits, or add my own lists. And so I'm going to click search, and it's going to populate with a bunch of Carrie Underwood songs. Now if I want to add Carrie Underwood Blown Away to my must playlist, I would just drag that over here and click undo, and the request is automatically saved. Now let's say I wanted Carrie Underwood, but I didn't want this Cowboy Casanova song. I would drag that over to the do not play list, and it would add it there. So once I'm done adding songs, I can just go back to the planning option. But first, for those brides-to-be or grooms-to-be, we have a special section just for you. Now this is where you would add your first dance, your father-daughter, mother-son, any special songs that you want specifically for your wedding. So let's say I wanted Carrie Underwood as my first dance. I would drag it right here, and it adds it to that special song. Now if I have a comment that I want to add and say, we'll just say bride's favorite song, I can add a comment like that. And so that way when the DJ is getting ready to announce your first dance, you can say, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the bride's favorite song and their first dance, Mr. and Mrs. whatever, out for their first dance. So that's how the music request system works. And we're going to go ahead and jump back to other planning forms. You can also set it up to where your guests have access via Facebook, or you can send them an email link and they can sign in and add requests as well. So the next thing that we're going to jump to is we're going to jump to the planning forms. Now, depending on your event, you're going to have specific forms that are specific for your event. For instance, right here is a wedding reception planning guide. I'm going to click Edit, and this is where I would begin to fill out information specific to my reception. Now, if it was a birthday party, it might be a completely different form, and it won't say bride's name. So begin filling this out. It is detailed, but it keeps us and prevents us from asking 50 questions during your event. It helps us be prepared. So it ranges from introduction style to the meal to favorite song and all along. So fill that out, be detailed, and it will really help us be prepared for your upcoming event. I'm going to jump back to planning options, and be sure to click Save Changes when you get done. Vendor information, kind of asking the same thing. It's just information. What we end up doing is we'll send information to other vendors that you're working with. So be sure to fill out that with their details. And then we're going to jump to the timeline, because the timeline is just a little bit different. And that way it helps us understand kind of what you're looking for as far as the details. And that way we can send an itinerary to your other vendors that you're working with. So here I've kind of started a timeline a little bit. So at 5 o'clock my wedding ceremony is going to happen. 5:45 I'm going to have a receiving line, and dinner we'll say is at 6. So after dinner we're going to do a cake cutting. So I'm going to drag cake cutting in there, and I'm going to say 7 o'clock for my cake cutting. And then I'm going to find first dance, and I'm going to drag first dance over, and so on and so forth. So that is the online planning form as far as the timeline for your event. One thing to remember about this form is you want to be sure to click the Save Changes at the very bottom. Otherwise it's not going to save your changes. So this is probably the majority of where you're going to spend your time, is planning out your event. The next tabs that we're going to go through is we'll click on the home page just to make sure that you're familiar with that. So here's the home page. The My Events page is a little different than the home page. It lists different events that you have. So if you've had past events with us, it's going to list them here. Also, your upcoming events, it's going to list them here. My Profile is all the information about you specifically. So it has your details. If you want to change your name or change your mailing address or change your username or password, you would just do that here. The next tab is the Contact Us page. Now this is where you can send us a message if you're having issues. You can also call us, email us, or get a hold of us. It also has emails as far as the history goes. At the very bottom you're going to notice there's a follow us on Twitter. Be sure to click that, or be sure to click the like us on Facebook. And then you'll notice over here on the very far left, the very far right, there is a chat now. If you click that, it will come up with a little chat widget that allows you to instantly contact us if you're having issues. Sometimes we're not online just because we're not a 24-hour business. However, if you do call or email us, we will be sure to get back to you with any questions that you have. So, once again, Carl Poulsen signing off from Showbiz Northwest. We are super excited to help you with your event, and we are here for the entire duration. So if you do need help planning, be sure to get a hold of us. Thanks, and we'll talk to you soon.